Welcome to The Introvert Sisters, the podcast by introverts for introverts, hosted by Sharon and Lisa, two INFJs with a lot to say.
Oh, sis.
Hi, I'm Sharon.
And I'm Lisa.
And together, we're the Introvert Sisters.
We're
Welcome
the
to the
Introvert
podcast.
Sisters. We always
You
mess
did that
around
on
here.
purpose.
That's fine. Go ahead.
We are excited about this episode because it is a celebration of Black Girl Magic. Yay! We are happy and honored to welcome Alechia, Reese, and Dani Foster. These two amazing women are the hosts of the famous Triggered AF podcast, which has been featured on XO Nicole and Essence. Yes, The Essence. Welcome to the show, ladies.
Hi. Thank you for having us. We're so excited.
Yes. This has been a good little while in the making, but I'm glad we actually were able to finally get together and do this.
Yes.
And so we want to find out how this all started. But before we get there, take us back to before you got into podcasting. What was your background? Let's start with you, Alechia.
Before the podcast, I owned a marketing and branding firm, and we worked. One of our headquarters was in New York, and so we worked in New York. Anytime, like influencers, celebs, executives, and organizations wanted to bring a product, service, or event to market, they would come to my company and we would create a strategy for what that looked like. It was really, really dope work. We got to work with some pretty dope people, from Zendaya Coleman to Soledad O'Brien, UPS, Verizon, and it was really, really great work. And also, I hated it. Every minute of it.
Oh wow!
Well, if I can just interject, I'm a marketer. I still have a 9-to-5, and I'm a marketer, and I so understand that because there's some brands that you like vibe with.
Yeah.
And then some you're like, Yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah.
So what about you, Dani? What did you do before?
So my background has always been in sales. So prior to the podcast, and maybe during a little bit right when we started, I had my 9-to-5. I was a sales coach for American Express for the Platinum team. So pretty much I would go into different teams and kind of help mold their teams with sales and help them to be better at sales. So I would have like meetings and workshops and all these things to kind of help people improve their sales. And then in right before the podcast, and maybe again a little bit during, I started my certification program to become a health and wellness coach. So I was doing the juggling too, right?
That juggling act. Listen,
Yeah.
I'm still juggling. So I mean, when we're done with this, you guys need to give me
nothing wrong with the juggle. Like you just have to.
Juggle is a struggle. Okay.
Yeah. It doesn't have to be. You know what it is? You have to figure out what are the glass. You have to figure out what are the glass balls and what are the balls that you can allow to drop. Right. So I just learned how to hey, if it's not that important, if it's not the priority, it can fall to the wayside sometimes. But the glass balls, I got to keep them up all the time.
Yes. Amen to that. That's a wonderful analogy. And so, okay, so you guys are in marketing and in sales and doing all these things. So what made you get into podcasting? When did this transition happen? How did it happen? Where did this idea spring from?
So Dani and I have known each other over 10 years at this point.
Yeah.
We went to college together, and then we also worked together. And from the time we were in college, she was always a safe place for me, and I was always a safe place for her. We literally tell each other, we got to be friends forever because we each know where all the bodies are buried.
Yeah.
So we got to be friends forever. And at this point, it's beyond friendship. She's my sister. I can tell her every piece and part, the good, the bad, the ugly, the embarrassing. And it's never oh, you're disgusting. It's always okay, I hear you, but this is how you could have done it better.
So I could have done it better. Yes.
Okay, I hear you. I understand what you're going through. Come, let me hold you, hug you. It really is a safe space.
and the depth and the complexity and the types of conversations that we've been having literally since college, we were like, people need to see and hear this, because even in our expansive friendship, we've never gotten in a fight that I remember.
Ever.
And
I mean, we both
since college? Since college.
Since college.
Never. We've never fallen out. We've never stopped talking for a few months. Like we're always, I mean, life gets busy and life happens, but I mean, it's just all we just get along really well. We just always have. And we've done other business things together. Like I've started businesses and she helped me. Like we've done other things and we just always got along. So when it came to Triggered, we just would constantly be like, have a conversation. It was so dope. And it's like, we cannot keep this just between the two of us. Like this needs to be shared with other people.
Right.
And we both kind of were on a healing, we've always kind of both been on a healing journey and been in similar spaces, I feel like, at the same time, right? Or maybe sometimes she was like a little bit more advanced or more ahead in this area and she was able to help me, and then, or I was more ahead in one area and I was able to help her. So it's just always been such a reciprocal relationship, and we always got along so well, and we did business before and it went well. So we were just like, you know, we are safe enough and evolved enough and protective of our friendship enough to expand it and to go into business and trust that we'll, you know, respect each other and put egos aside. I mean, it's just so easy. And we were like, you know what, let's just do it. And the pandemic was just the perfect, time.
Right.
There was a lot to talk about.
There was a lot to talk about.
All the things.
So leaning on from that then, how did you come up with the name Triggered AF and the theme of dealing with emotional triggers? Because let's be honest, in the Black community, talking about mental health is still quite taboo in many cases.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go for it, Alechia.
I think so. For us, it literally kind of, we were having, I think it was a conversation on her green couch. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah,
well, now I feel like I need to see that the green couch sounds very specific. So it
is. It was like an emerald green velvet.
It's so funny. Let me just tell you, Alechia, when you said green couch, an emerald green velvet couch is what came into my head. May or may not have tufting. May or may not have tufting. But
it did have
tufting. It did have tufting.
Telling you.
How do we all live such similar lives? It's amazing to me. But no, so I think we were on the green couch and we were just talking about just the work that we've done and how hard the work has been and how it doesn't look like how it looks on Instagram where it's these picturesque like yoga poses. It's like it gets nasty and it gets ugly and it gets painful and there are tears. And it does not feel good when you are really doing the work to heal, and what progress looks like and how you ensure that you're maintaining that. And we were like, everybody's, I think Dani said it, actually, I'm pretty positive. Dani said, she's like, everybody's so triggered. And I was like, oh, we can name it that. We can name it that.
Yeah, we were trying to, we had already decided we were doing the podcast and we were trying to come up with like the right name. We're throwing things back and forth, but if nothing was like, so we were like, let's just talk. It'll come to us. Like we were like, let's not force it. Everything else flows and comes to us. Let's just let it come to us. And it just came one time. Like we weren't even trying to think of it.
Those are the best times. Like when it just like happens organically, right?
It's the best. And then I think the AF part was like, I know I said everybody's triggered. And he was like, yeah, triggered as AF.
Yeah.
And I was like, yes. And then we were both like, oh, that's a great name. And then we were like, oh, is that too controversial? Is that too raunchy? Is that whatever? But we were like, you know what? The AF kind of softens it. If you know, right? What it means. And we just decided that, you know, it's not just about talking and shooting the shit, right? Like, it's not like, oh, let's just chit chat. It's like, no, how can we help people with this information, with our network, with the wonderful people we can bring on? Like, how can we take it a step further as opposed to just like two girlfriends having a conversation? But how can we have conversations that can help heal, that can help, you know, people recognize traumas that they probably didn't even think of? I mean, the feedback we've gotten is just like, I don't know how many times I've cried reading things
Yeah.
because I just can't believe like our little conversation has turned into this, you know?
Into a
So,
thing.
yeah, where people are like, hey, like, I don't do this anymore because of you guys, or
Great.
I left this abusive relationship because I listened to an episode. Like that is like, I don't think that there's any greater service than helping others and making sure that they're taking a different route or changing their mindset. I mean, if you can change people's mindset, like
Amazing.
that
It's
is
the best. It's the best.
that's the best. That's it. That's all I need. Like that works for me.
That's-
Like
That's amazing. I mean, Sharon and I are, again, you know, wearing many hats. So another hat is that we're actually both Reiki masters. And-
oh, nice.
right. So yeah, so it's just every healing journey is different, and every healer has a different way of, I guess, doing their healing.
Yeah.
You know,
Absolutely.
but it is all, I think, all of it. All roads lead to Rome, right?
Yes.
So, right. So all of it is important, and you know, the way you guys do it, you know, even just from the name, it's very sort of both of the moment and yet evergreen, right?
Yes.
You know, so it's everybody knows now about triggers. The people who need to know about AF know about AF. So and it's really catchy. Anyway, but I have another question for you guys, because and Dani, you mentioned just now, you know, some of your listeners have talked about, let's say, being in abusive relationships and being able to move on as a result of, you know, listening to you guys' episodes. And so you guys talk about like heavy stuff, like, you know, mental abuse, friendship breakups is one that I saw, generational trauma, boundary, like, you know, I was going through it. I was like, oh my gosh. And so my question is to you though, is have either of you ever gotten re-triggered mid-show, like in the middle of a recording? Like, when do we not?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
why don't you start, Alechia? Yeah.
That's why I really like what it is that we do, because we honor it. We'll acknowledge it. Like just last night, we were recording and doing an interview, and Dani had a revelation, and she was like, oh my God, I just realized that this is a thing. This is something that I'm dealing with.
Yeah.
We have become so open with, and now not all the things, because, you know, only an unwise man shares all his house, but we have become really open with sharing what our struggles have been. Like we did an episode called Trigger Happy, where we had a conversation with our lower selves. This is how my lower self has responded, and this is how me in my evolved place would have done it, or how I'm doing it now in the future. Because it's not about showing, oh, I'm perfect and it just is great. And it's no, this is my underbelly, the parts that I don't mind showing. This is my underbelly. These are the parts and pieces of me that are not necessarily the best of me. This is when where I have hurt people, sometimes intentionally, sometimes, you know, not intentional, but this is how I want to be moving forward. I am able, and you are able, to decide today, in this moment, in the next hour, that what has been no longer can be, and I'm going to make intentional and deliberate changes to change. I'm going to make changes in order to change. And for us, when we do get triggered, we'll even sometimes talk about it and be like, you know what, that's really frustrating for me. Or, hey, for us, I believe that Triggered AF is just the spark. Right. It is really just a spark. It is an illumination. It is a highlight on, hey, these are the areas in which you might need to take a look at. And then in our episodes as well, we provide, hey, these are the different healing modalities that you can tap into so that you can go deeper. Because just listening to an hour podcast one time a week is not enough. That's not gonna, right. But it's a start. It is a start. It can be a catalyst for you. It is a game-changing catalyst. We literally, at this point, I've got 10 DMs that I have not read yet, but I saw the beginning of it and they're like, oh my God, I listened to Triggered AF, total life changes. One girl told me that she too was going to take her life. And she was like, the conversation that Dani and I had about what the other side of it looks like, because I speak very openly about the things that I have gone through. Yeah, I saw a post of yours. I guess it must have been on LinkedIn.
talking about, some of your journey and
I speak openly.
Yeah.
Like everybody wants to try and hide it and seem perfect. Like I just look like this. Please understand that my life has not looked as well put together as I am. It's been some major trauma. It's been some garbage that I have had.
Garbage.
Garbage.
Listen, garbage is when like you're going through trauma, right? But you're trying to like fake your way through it, and you're like garbage. That's what that is. And then you go back home and you cry in a puddle on your green velvet couch.
Yes.
I love it.
Right.
But no, so that's what Triggered is for us. And I'm so grateful that honestly God trusted us enough to know that even when we do re-trigger ourselves, that we are so committed to still bringing a level of healing and a willingness to still show up. We're in season 5 now. We've recorded at this point 75 episodes.
Yeah. Because I guess the content or the topics create themselves, I guess, right?
Oh yeah, I mean, there's so many triggers. That's why I was like, this is perfect, because I mean, anything can almost be a trigger, depending on the person.
Right.
And I think as Black women, we have another layer that can be uncovered, So for me, when it comes to getting triggered, throughout conversations, after conversations, I mean, there are times where we'll have a conversation and I'm like brooding over it for 3 days. I'm just like, or sometimes I will re-listen to a conversation and I'm triggered by something I said. And I'm like, wow, I was like that. So I think it's just a part of it. I don't think that you can talk about things and not be challenged by them.
Yeah.
I don't think that you should act like you're not either. I am really intentional about not talking at the audience, but talking to them and being like, hey, we're here together. Like, I'm on this journey too. I'm talking to you, but please understand that I have a whole lot of stuff that I'm still working on. So even as the seasons have progressed, I've tried to be more and more intentional of showing my underbelly, of being vulnerable, of just kind of being more myself and not being so caught up in sounding perfect or saying the right thing. Like all that, I'm done with that. Like you're gonna get what you get. And if I change my mind in the next episode, like too bad.
Yeah.
I love that approach. And, that really resonates with me, both in the work that I do in the newsletter, because, I kind of like say, well, here, this is how it feels. And, this is how I felt about it then. This is how I feel about it now. Things can change. And definitely in some of the allies groups that I moderate, it's like, okay, well, today's not a good day for me to talk about this. I'm feeling triggered. Or, here is how some people are going to react when you come at this topic in this particular way. And it's like, it's not all going to be pretty. It's not possible to make things that are traumatic nice all the time. It really is not.
Correct.
And I don't think that we should present that. We shouldn't present it that way. We've got to be real with people. So so kudos to you for doing that.
Yeah, and Alechia, you mentioned you both kind of like alluded to it, but you mentioned your lower self, right? And so my question is, who are Lola and Elsa? Oh yeah, I did my research. I
love it.
Please explain to us and to our listeners and viewers, who are Lola and Elsa?
Oh man.
Please.
Lola and Elsa are some ratchet, mean, nasty,
fun. Don't forget fun. It's not all bad.
They are fun.
Hypersexual, just outspoken.
Yes.
Rude.
Very rude. But also very protective beings.
And loyal.
They're
very loyal.
They're very loyal.
They don't take from anyone.
They don't take
from anyone.
Yeah. They don't play the piano. Okay?
They don't play the piano. They don't play the radio. They're not about that life.
Yeah. But they're about that life.
But they are about that life.
They like to tussle. Okay, they like to tussle. But Lola and Elsa are our lower selves. We named them, and I'm a firm believer in naming things, calling them or giving them agency, so that you can better identify who it is. Just like I named my lower self, I also named my joy. My joy's name is Eddie. And anytime I call on Eddie, I do so, and it literally brings me back to a place, because I've attached a feeling to what my joy feels like, looks like, what that experience is. Same thing with Lola. My lower self, when I identify that I am ready to snap, crackle, pop, because the other side of this love and light is raw and ratchet. And that raw and ratchet side is Lola. But Lola only wants to protect me because she's afraid. She's a little scary. I think Elsa might be a little scary too, but they're not afraid of getting hurt. Yeah. They're afraid of utter death. And so they do whatever it takes to make sure that Alechia is okay. And so with acknowledging that I do have a lower self, that there are parts and pieces of me that still might need some work, I'm not resisting what I want to do. I'm acknowledging that Lola exists, that Lola is about to come on up because she feels like, oh, Alechia could get hurt. Alechia is about to die. So let me do whatever it takes to make sure she stays in the game. And I can say, thank you so much, Lola, for your willingness and desire to protect me. And also, I got it this time.
Right.
And sometimes I do let her loose. Like, okay, sis.
I feel like if my version, first of all, I'm now going to have to come up with a name for my version of Lola. I feel like if online, because Sharon and I, we're both writers, right? Mm-hmm. And she is the measured, intellectual, steeped in academia, dignified, right? She's basically always her self. That is her personality.
Wow.
She's amazing. And I'm not just saying that. I mean, she and I
that place.
Listen, but when I tell you, I feel blessed to have her in my life. And I always embarrass her like this. Always. She really is an exemplar for me, because I am that dichotomy that you just described.
Listen.
And I'm a Scorpio. I don't know if you believe in, astrology and stuff, but I'm a Scorpio. I'm a yeah.
That singer come out.
My sister is Scorpio. I know y'all intimately.
Yes. Y'all. Listen, and my poor Sharon, like I am a Scorpio. Her daughter is a Scorpio. Her husband is a Scorpio.
You're surrounded.
And what sign are you, Sharon?
Pisces.
Oh, right. I feel bad. And so, like, if you even just looking at our writing on LinkedIn, for example, right? And even if you took the names away, you're like, okay, that's Sharon. And then you could tell Lisa was just like, and another thing. And by the way, I don't like, and so I feel like, so I'm like, okay, maybe I am always triggered AF. I don't know. And maybe I'm always writing from the position of, not always, but frequently writing from the position of my version of Lola and Elsa.
Yeah.
I don't know. Now I have to, this is where people learn in the moment. I'm like, I want to examine this.
Yeah. It was important for us to share it with people, because for me, it was a little maybe more difficult to share it. Because I don't know, I felt like I didn't like that side of myself for a long time. Yes. Maybe there was some shame around being like that. And then when we started talking about it, I was just like, you know what? Like, we do have to learn to love all of ourselves, even the lower vibrational self, even the mean self. We all have it. I'm sure you're saying that about Sharon, and Sharon's like, nah, she's in there.
She's in there.
She is, I guess, but
looks like I ain't never seen it.
She's probably well caged and well maintained, and
I guess
some people,
how do you you tell us.
I would say that there are people who will bring like a big rock with their views, and I'm probably going to be the stiletto.
So you like those black mamas who used to like pinch your skin off in church. Like, don't you make a move.
No, I still have a lower self. I still have a lower self. The way that she comes out is often very different, but she's there. She's there for sure.
Yeah, and I feel like there's so much strength in honoring that part of yourself.
Yeah.
Like, it feels so good to know I am not forced into this level of perfection that I could never achieve.
Yes.
Because what happens usually is when you try and push down your feelings and emotions, usually they eventually erupt. And then they erupt at a time when, and you said all the time, the punishment didn't fit the crime. Like, it was a little needle, but because you had been hampering it down so much, it was like, you know what? That's it. Let it go.
Yeah. And it comes out either like it can come out verbally. It often kind of, I'm preaching to the choir, it comes out in your body. Like it comes out in physical manifestations and symptoms and so on.
Yeah, there's so many
coming out.
Oh yeah. And I think also too, when you can kind of identify this other version of yourself that isn't the best version, you also can learn to forgive yourself and be gentle and have compassion with yourself throughout the journey. You know, once I was able to kind of have more dialogue with my lower self from a place of love and compassion and from a place of a higher self that is more healed, you kind of realize that like I need her. Like, she's here to protect me. She loves me. She just is not as informed. She doesn't feel as safe. She doesn't feel as protected, but there is a version of me that does. So maybe we can work together where she can be my voice sometimes when I'm too scared to speak up. She can be that extra thing sometimes that pushes me when my higher self is like, whatever, let people say what they want, or let people do what they want. And sometimes else is like, no, boo, like that is not happening over here.
Not what we're doing.
So I feel like instead of, she helps reinforce my boundaries.
And that's important.
I love
and I think too that is probably why we have not argued, because please understand, we both have extremely strong personalities.
Oh, I never picked up. Never.
Not. But we have extremely strong personalities. But I think because we have done such a good job at acknowledging when our lower self is like, thriving. And we're willing to have really tough conversations. Yeah. Like, she's told me things. She's like, I didn't like the way that made me feel. And then she's also open to like, hey, what do you think about this? Or, hey, I responded like this. What did you think? And then I do the same thing. I'm like, well, girl, I don't know nothing about that. And then she'll be like, Alicia, no, honey, that wasn't it. That wasn't it.
I got a lot of that. I got a lot of that from Big Sis. Like, there was another way. You
didn't have to, because I got into this major argument on an airplane with a passenger who I was sitting next to. And again, we talk about everything. So of course I'm gonna tell her about this. I was like, listen, my good sis said XYZ, and I went 0 to 100 real quick. And she was like, I was looking for the catalyst. She was like, what happened? Like, how did you get there so fast?
Right.
She's like, I think you really might want to start looking at what is it, or why is it that you go off so fast? And literally from that conversation that she had with me, I was like, you know what? That's not healthy. If I hadn't had another Black woman on the plane who was like, sis, switch seats with me. Because it was to the point to where Lola was about to unleash on that good passenger who was sitting next to me, who thought because she was white, so she had to be right.
Listen, I sorry to interject, but I was like, I already know.
Yeah,
I already know. I already know. But they can push you there because there's so much that comes with it. It's not just
so much. You
weren't even responding. You weren't even responding to what was happening then. You're responding to, you know what?
The years.
My mother and my great grandmother, and Harriet Tubman.
Yeah.
All the way back.
Right, all the way
back.
The
ancestors.
12 years a slave. You went all the way back.
Yes.
Okay.
The ancestors came in support of Harriet. Of Lola. Harriet Tubman came. Listen. Listen, all of them. Cicely Tyson, she was like, yes, sis, get it. All of them came.
Whoopi Goldberg was till you do right by me.
Listen, everything you do don't fail. Like, it was that type of energy because it was just so blatant for me. And I didn't even know. And it was kind of like Alechia was overlooking and it was all Elsa. I felt like I was literally possessed. Because
Lola.
I'm sorry, it was all Lola, my bad. You see, we've been pretty fun.
It's all right. I understood.
It was all Lola, literally like, unleashing on this lady because how she handled me was just so incredibly disrespectful and entitled. Like, sis, it's 8 o'clock in the morning. We just woke up. What?
She woke up and chose violence.
Listen, she woke up and chose violence, and Lola was like, bet, I've been waiting for my turn.
Let's go.
Okay.
No.
So this seems a really good time to ask.
Yes.
You know, healing work can be fulfilling, but it can take a lot out of you. How do you practice self-care, pour back into yourselves, and
calm Lola and Elsa down.
Calm Lola and Elsa down. So let's start with you, Dani.
I think there's so many ways. I think the main way is, of course, having great friends, having a tribe that understands you, who sees you, that cares and knows how to pour into you. I think it's really important to curate a tribe of women, specifically women, for women that know how to pour into you in a way that is really filling. I think sometimes we think we're around our friends and just being around me is not enough especially during the work that we're doing now. I can't just I'm not really here to just have kickbacks and just chill. Like, what kind of conversations are we having? Like, can I call you and Alechia will call me and be like, hey, I need to kind of emotionally dump. Do you have space? Can you hold the space for me? So just curating a tribe of people that can hold the space for you, that understand and respect your boundaries. I love little things like getting my nails done, getting my hair done. Like, I do still enjoy that, and I do regard it as self-care, especially as a mother. It's like just having those things for myself that I can do, my alone time, my workouts. I mean, I think those things are important for self-care, but I think the most important thing is probably just who I'm around and who I surround myself with on a day-to-day. Like, that is that's been the game changer for me. Just being very intentional around who I spend my time with. I had this period, right after I had a baby, where I was communicating more with some people that I didn't always communicate as much with. And I literally felt the shift. Like, I felt it, and to the point where my now husband was like, something's going on with you. Like, you're not being your best self. And he called me on it, and he was like, you know what? I think who you're talking to every single day is starting to have this impact. And we don't even realize that we're having
energy. It's the energy. I'm telling you.
And you just think, hey, I'm just talking to you. Like, what's the big deal? No. And I started to kind of pull back, and the change happened so fast. I was like, this is crazy how quickly the energy can shift based on where you're putting it. It was, so for me, it's that, just making sure that I'm around the right people who are saying the right things to my spirit, to my mind, and making sure that my energy is used in a very intentional way.
That's so important because energy exists there kind of like in the ether, and if you are a certain kind of human being, you can pick up on those signals. Right? You can almost be you can add an empath. You can be almost like a dowsing rod and feel who is for you and who is not. But also, you're so right about the conversations, because life and death is in the power of the tongue, or whatever. I know I probably bungled that, but you understand.
No, that was perfect.
That was it. Oh, okay.
That's exactly it.
And so literally every word that we speak is a spell. They call it spelling for a reason. And so if you are speaking to somebody and what you are spelling or speaking about is all negativity, all gossip, and all that kind of low vibrational stuff, that is going to show up.
It will.
Absolutely. I mean, it was like to the point where I've been an athlete all my life. I've worked out all my life. I didn't feel like working out. I didn't feel like all of the things that that come to me at this point pretty naturally, eating well, working out, just journaling, or just having like doing all my rituals, like all that stuff was out the window. And I'm not blaming or putting, not taking accountability,
Yeah.
but it was an influence. It was something that I was like, he would like when he pointed it out, I was like, you know what, you might be onto something, because he's watching me and he's just like, your whole vibe has been different lately. I think you need to be more conscious of who you're spending your time with. And I was like, I was offended. And first Elsa was getting a little like, hold on, what's up?
Right.
But then I was like, you know what? This man loves me. And if he's saying this, I need to listen and take heed and do some inventory, and so I just think being really conscious about that stuff is a game changer. It doesn't matter if it's family, it doesn't matter if it's your bestie. Like sometimes some people you need to learn to love them from a distance and put them where they belong so that you can flourish and be open to new friends and new options and finding your real tribe who can take you to the next level.
I'm okay with most of that up until the new friends part.
Really? Over here. Yeah.
I struggle. I try. I do try because I think it's important. It's important to be teachable and to be open and yada, right? And I try, and then people are gonna peep. I always say people are gonna peep, right?
Yes.
Well, but here's the thing with people peopling, right?
Right.
People gonna people.
Yeah.
People gonna people. But here's the thing with that. You get to, and Dani has such a really great analogy where she doesn't believe in throwing people away anymore, because she used to love to, play with scissors and cut people off. As she would say, these are her things.
I'm looking for mine. Mine are nearby. Let me tell you. I just put them away. They're normally right here. I'm like,
gotta go.
And that's what she said she would normally do. But now instead, what she does is because she's done such a major healing journey, and I've adopted this too, is instead of cutting people off, because I'm very much like that. Like I am quick to be like, yeah, no, you no longer exist in my world. I'm a Taurus. So we are very long suffering. Yes. By the time we're done suffering, you are dead to me. I have had your funeral. I don't care if you're still living. You are dead.
I don't remember your name. I will forget people's names.
I will forget your existence. Yeah. I will forget that we ever knew each other. It is pretty bad. But what I do now, and I took this from Dani, is instead of damning you to the grave, what I do now is at first you may have been up on me where you were in my bedroom closet. Like you were in my bedroom closet, you were in my bedroom, you had carte blanche access to all the things that was me. Instead, then I may put you in the kitchen. Like that's downstairs in my house. You no longer have access to my intimate areas because you can't be trusted to manage the level of responsibility that comes with having that level of access to me. And then if, let's say, you aren't prepared to be in my house, then okay, you're outside in the garage.
See, now that's where you're like the kitchen. I'm like, is there a garden? Is there a basement?
I love that. I love that idea.
There are levels.
Then you go out to the garden, or you go out into the field, or you out in the street.
Curbside.
Yes, you out in the street because you can't be trusted. There, you have to understand there is a level of responsibility that you have to have when people let you into their intimate parts.
Yeah.
And if you are not at a place and space that you can handle that level of responsibility, then I won't give you that. Just like a baby, you don't give a baby meat because they do not have the capacity to break down the protein, to break down the toughness of that meat. You are not prepared for that level of responsibility. So I remove it from you. You just no longer, I just take it from you. It's okay. I love you.
Right.
Peace be unto you. Love and light. Let's go out to this curb.
Yes.
So
it's interesting.
Alechia.
It's interesting. I had a friend. Okay. Sorry, sis. Let me just say this. I had a friend. I don't know. Former friend. I don't know what to call it.
A human who existed in your world who provided something at the time you needed.
They used to be, as you put it, in the bedroom closet, and then like I don't know what happened. Randomly just ghosted me, cut me off one day. I'm like, okay, fine, no problem. Yes.
We've had that to happen. We talked about it a lot.
You talked about it, right? You've talked about it in a few of your episodes, and so I was like, okay, fine. If we block him, let's block. So But I forgot one channel, and so I forgot Facebook. And randomly, just the other day, this person reached back out. Hey, how are you doing? I love you. Yeah, this is a girlfriend, not a romantic nothing, right? I just want to say I'm sorry. And I was like, because I kept looking at my phone, like, okay, like, what is wrong? Like, this must be some kind of glitch in the matrix, because I don't understand why communication. How is this even happening? And so I said, I'm confused.
Yeah, I'm confused.
I'm confused, and they were like, okay, well, I'll call you soon. And
no, thank you.
And I actually laughed out loud like a crazy person in my house by myself. I was like, I'm like, you can call, but I ain't picking up. And they did call, but they were on the curb. They were outside on the curb. I did not pick up the call. I'm like, because it was so drastic for me, because it was like one day, it was like you said, super, super close. And then the next day, I don't know what happened. And there was never any communication.
Yeah.
Now, I do understand in cases if there's communication and there's clarity around, okay, XYZ happened. There was some kind of inciting incident. Then you might not like the result, but okay, you at least understand, all right, maybe this person did not receive what I was delivering, and everybody's entitled, and that's fine.
Yeah.
If there's no clarity and there's that kind of situation, I'm like, no, curb.
Yeah. I mean, that would literally, like, if Dani were to like cut me off and never speak to me again and never have a conversation, I would be heartbroken.
Yeah.
Like, because it's like, but you're my sister. You don't think I deserve a conversation?
At least.
I probably have to come fight you.
Yeah. At least. Anyway, I know that we are. It's such a juicy conversation.
Yes.
We knew it was going to be. And so, why don't you take the next one, sis?
Well, we still haven't found out about Alechia and self-care.
Oh,
right. That's true.
We still want to know what you do to lift
I'll say it
up.
quick. So that I want to make sure I'm respectful of your time. But for me, I'm a firm believer. I tap into joy. So Dani and I align in that being around the right people is a thing for me. I collect good people, like children, like love candy. I love good people. I love new energy because I get to learn more about myself in the new energy. And as they reveal who they are, what their values are, their morals, their character, then I decide where they'll be in my house, right? And then for me, I tap into joy. I travel extensively. I make sure I can't create or show up as my best self if I haven't been to somebody's country or somebody's excursion in a while. Like I was talking to my sister the other day, my little sister, the one who my mother had, I was talking to her the other day and I was like, okay, I'm itching. I gotta go somewhere and do something because that is how I take care of myself. And like, I am an introvert. People don't believe me, but I am a whole introvert. I'm social because I know how to speak. I enjoy people, but love people, but people do drain me. And so for me, I have to go and spend time alone and or travel. That's how I take care of myself and I honor my needs. I ask myself each morning, like, okay, what do you need today? Like for me, that's how I daily take care of myself. Like, what do you need today? If it's that I need to be held, I know I have, whether it's girlfriends or guy friends, intimate partners, whatever it is, because I don't even date them all. I'm single till I'm married. I'm single till I'm engaged to be married. Then I'll cut everybody off. But until that time, when I ask myself, what do I need? I honor that. Like if I need to go out to eat, I'll go to one of my favorite restaurants and grab a drink and get really, really dressed up. I honor my needs on a daily basis by actually asking myself what they are. So that's self-care for me on a daily and also, throughout the time.
That is
amazing. I've learned so much already,
Yes, and obviously we totally relate to that need to have that alone time because, we are introverts, we type as INFJs. And so that was actually going to be our next question. So what about you, Dani? Do you identify as an introvert, extrovert, somewhere in between?
I would definitely say I'm both. I get my energy from where I need to get it from. Because the real meaning of introvert and extrovert is pretty much just like where you get your energy from, right? I'm an introvert, so I just like to sit home and watch TV all the time. Like that's not Like I hear people say, "Oh, I don't want to go because I'm an introvert," and it's like, no, you don't want to go because you don't want to go.
Yeah.
You have nothing to wear. You don't feel like doing your hair and makeup. You're a little lazy sometimes. Like that's why you don't want to go. Like let's be, like there's just I think that those words introvert, extrovert are really misunderstood and they're kind of thrown around a lot. So I love that you guys.
So clarify a bit more for the people who are listening in.
Yeah.
Clarify your interpretation.
Yeah. So for me, I can get my energy from a crowd. I love people. I can go into a crowd, and if I decide that, hey, I want this energy and I want to soak it up and I want to do all the things, then I can do that.
And that's an extrovert.
Right. That's my extrovert. Yeah. But I also sometimes have times where, especially if I feel like I'm vibing kind of low, I do need to be by myself. So for me, my extrovert introvert depends on where I'm vibing at the time. If I am in a low vibrational state, I know that crowds are not a good idea. I know that I'm too sensitive and too susceptible for negative energies.
Some
I'm going to attract
to you.
The wrong thing. Right. So when I am vibing low, when I'm not in a good space, I will avoid crowds and kind of tap into my more introverted self to learn to kind of replenish myself and connect with the intimate groups of people that I know in my intimate friendships to replenish and to recharge and to get my energy from there. When I'm vibing high, I need the people to see me. I need to be out in the streets. I'm like,
it's so funny
because I feel like I soak up all this good energy from people. I meet people. It feels so good to me. So like I said, for me, I get my energy based on where I'm vibrating and just wherever I need to get it from.
I love it.
I love that. I love that. I am a total introvert. I honor that. I've learned to honor that. Somebody messaged me the other day, do you want to go and do this evening? I said, well, I've been in calls all day. I'm not sure I'm going to be capable of doing anything social after 9 to 5 calls. It's like, I need alone time. I need recharge time. And that's pretty much the space I'm always in.
Yeah. And that's me too. Like I used to feel really, really bad because people would invite me out and they do all these things. And it's like, I need to spend time with me or else Lola will be empowered to come forth. And it's unnecessary. It's literally just because I'm tired. I have no energy. Like I was speaking with one of my guy friends this morning and he was asking me, about our day and all the things that we have to do. And he was like, so what do you plan on doing tonight? I was like, I plan on sitting down because I would have expended so much energy. I was like, I have to recharge. And I know that about myself. I must recharge. And usually it's alone.
And we're going to have the same kind of day. And I'm like, she's going to be here. That means I have a babysitter. Maybe me and my husband should go out.
And I'm so excited about them going out.
Right? Like my husband, and we're going to be around people, right? We have these interviews. They're in person. Like we have a lot going on.
Right.
And I'm like, I'm feeling good today. Like, where are we going?
I love it. It's so funny because it's interesting what you said, Dani, about just getting your energy from where you get it from. Because even though both Sharon and I technically type as introverts, let there be a dance floor and some good calypso music come on. You'd be like,
all bets are off.
That cannot be the introvert sisters because we are there. We are in the middle. If nobody else wants to dance, it's okay, fine. Y'all are missing out. We will have the party ourselves.
Well, there's a misconception that introverts are quiet or shy or not outgoing. And it's like, so I'm very intentional always of trying to define that when people say it, they're like, oh, I'm an introvert. I'm just like, okay, tell me more. Like, what do you mean by that? Because you being quiet and shy every introvert I know is like a ray of sunshine, is a good time, is fun, is adventurous. Like,
I'm a good time.
I don't know anyone more adventurous than Alechia who jumps off any cliff she can find. So there's just, I think introversion gets a lot of time a bad rap of being boring. And that's just not my experience with the true introverts I know. I mean, they are a blast.
I co-sign.
If an introvert lets you into their circle, right, you will see the side that other people do not see.
Because y'all are so picky.
We are picky. We are picky. We are discerning. We are discerning about the people that we let in. And when we let you in, we typically let you all the way in, and
Yeah.
you get to see the fun side. The people that are on the outside see the reserved and what they call aloof side, which I call the discerning side, right? They just see, they, those people are out in the garden, right? And then a few people are in the bedroom, right?
Yes.
And still too, let some music come on. Me and Dani both. Our song came on at the wedding, and literally she's in her gorgeous princess,
beautiful gown. Beautiful.
Thank you.
I'm in my bridesmaid's outfit. The line in the keep your heart through sex, keep your heart, man. We literally are dancing to it back and forth. Another song came on, and we on the dance floor twerking, shaking, shaking like a salt shaker. Like, we're doing all the things, and still, like, it's understanding that introversion truly just means where you draw your energy from. You draw your energy being alone, being with yourself. Extrovert, you draw your energy from being with and among people. That's literally it. It doesn't mean that you're boring, like you were saying. It doesn't mean that you don't like adventure. If it's a plane that I can jump out of, let me jump out of the plane. Let me scale the cliff. Let me jump off of it. Ooh, sharks, yes. Let me jump off the side of the yacht to jump in the water with sharks. Like, all the things. Like,
No. I definitely feel you, Alechia. I've done, the plane flying, driving the sports hovercraft, the go-karting, all that kind of thing. All these kind of things that you would think are not typical for an introvert. All I'm going to say is, when I finish doing those activities, then I want my alone time, my recharge time.
Right? I gotta do it myself.
I am not the adventurous. I am like, can I adventure in the Ritz? Can I adventure in the Intercontinental? Right? Can I adventure in the Four Seasons?
Yes, you can.
Can I adventure with some room service and a manicure?
I'm here for that.
I don't have a problem with
I'm here for both, but I'm really here for that.
Can I adventure by getting my makeup done? That's
That's my sister too. She's like, I don't want to do all that. Where's the spa? Sign me up to the spa.
There you go. Love it. Anyway, we are we're winding down, ladies, and so we just want to ask you both. We're fans, of course, of your podcast. And so, what's the next frontier for Triggered AF? Like, if you can share anything.
Absolutely.
Like, what can people look forward to? What's your vision? Yeah.
So many visions. I'm a firm believer in say what you want it to be. I know that we're going to be a syndicated podcast. We're going to have a television show. Those things are going to happen and come. But what is absolutely next is we're going to start having some live, intimate events and experiences that folks can join us at. They can go to triggeredafevents.com to register for those. We're going to be having our first one in New York pretty soon. So we're super excited about that. Yes.
You mean like near to Jersey City?
Where you can come hang out with us.
You have an invitation.
You
are invited. This is your invitation.
Well, thank you. Yes. I was just going to show up. I was just going to show up like a creep, but thank you.
No. We like new friends in real life.
No, we really do. So
no. Come on, you're invited. It'll be a fun day. We're gonna rent out a boat. Work through them. It's going to be a lot of fun, but we'll start doing these events in different cities, so that folks meet us in real life. Like the same people that we are on these podcasts, the same people that we are in person. There is no difference. We're not faking the funk. It is what it is. I'm actually a lot more myself off of the recordings.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah,
that is awesome.
It's a damn
awesome. And so, in addition. Vibe you. How can people
as Alechia says, I'm Beyonce's internet.
Beyonce's. Well, okay. Yes. can we do a split? Can we do a 50-50 split? Because we're from Barbados, can we split it between Beyonce and Rihanna?
Okay.
Yes.
I think so.
Okay, all right, okay.
On Beyonce and Rihanna's internet.
Yes, there you go.
You can find me everywhere at Alechia Reese. That's ALECHIAREESE. Dani?
For me, you can stay connected to me at the Dani Bordeaux. Bordeaux is BOURDEAU. And for Triggered, you can always go to Triggered AFPC on Instagram, Triggered AF Podcast on Facebook. And of course, you can listen to the Triggered AF Podcast on all the places that podcasts are casted. And you can even watch them on YouTube. It's just been such a pleasure to be on this podcast. Guys, thank you so much for having us. This was a blast. Yes.
Listen, you guys have just so much. You are high vibrational.
Yeah,
you are high vibrational. Lola, Lola notwithstanding.
Lola and Elsa, they sleep right now.
Right,
Lola
but no,
didn't
you
show
can
up
feel
today.
the good vibes, and it just has been such a pleasure to have you guys.
Absolutely.
Right?
Thank you, Alechia. Thank you, Dani. Everyone, we have been delighted to welcome the founders and co-hosts of the Triggered AF podcast. And thank you both for being here. We're the Introvert Sisters, and we will catch you next time. Thank you, and bye-bye.
Bye.
You've been listening to the Introvert Sisters. Loved what you heard? You can catch all our episodes on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, SoundCloud, and all other major platforms. Subscribe, rate, and write a review. Find us online at theintrovertsisters.com and follow us on Instagram and Facebook at The Introvert Sisters. See you next time.